Hey guys, welcome to Goldshaw Farm. Figured this morning it would be fun to give you a little quick tour of me doing my chores and really try to give you a sense of some of the things I'm thinking about as I'm doing chores. So here I am starting off my day, putting on my boots, contemplating a stupid hat, but it's not even all that hot out, so I won't go in. And oh look, Pablo just snuck in. You know, Pablo Barn Cat loves to try to sneak into the house, and I'm constantly having to do this where I like pull him out and then take him out, but you know, still love the goofy little fuzzball. The reason our barn cats don't go into the house is actually because I'm wicked allergic. So anytime you ever see me holding the cats or touching the cats, I usually immediately wash my hands after that happens. All right, so one of the first things I always do, the first animals I always let out are the ducklings, who really at this point can't even be considered ducklings. They've grown up so much, they've grown up so quickly. It's been kind of cool to see. But yeah, I've got to release the mini quack in. I'm still sort of training them and working with them. Pretty soon I've got to integrate them in with the rest of the flock, but for right now I'm just enjoying having them really close to the house, having them as sort of my comic relief and just having them hang out. You know, I always give them fresh water every morning. Some people sometimes give me crap because they see that the water for the ducks looks so brown and gross, but trust me, the ducks turn water into chocolate milk like instantly. That's just something that happens. You have to just accept it and go with it. I spend a ton of time on the farm pumping water. That's like a massive activity. And I usually cart it around in the buckets. The fact that I pump the water is just by virtue of the fact that they're water fowl, and I still don't quite know what the long-term setup is going to be of the farm in terms of what buildings and infrastructure I'm going to ultimately build. And so that's why I'm always really hesitant to try to, install anything or build anything out. And so that means I end up having to carry water by hand like you're seeing right here. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the garden here. Everything's doing pretty well. You know, we got off to a very slow start. June was a very cold and rainy month, but things are starting to do well. The potatoes are coming up. This is my CBD plant. It's coming along pretty well. I actually have two of them. So there's this one. They smell kind of like Otto's jacket, I guess. There's those onions that are going to seed. But yeah, the garden, really all the credit for the garden goes to Allison. She does such a good job of trying to maintain it and making it look nice and keeping it weed free. You can see some tomatoes, you can see some kale there, squash and zucchinis coming up. We're gonna have a lot of stuff really soon. We have a tendency to try to freeze as much as we can from the garden. There's some peas, they're coming along. Starting to pick those and eat those regularly with our dinners. We're getting most of our vegetables at this point from the garden though, and that's kind of nice. Back to dealing with water. In the summer months, I tend to cart the water around with our ATV, as you see me starting up here and backing out. In the winter months, I'll do it by hand because it's a lot harder to get the ATV out. Takes a lot more time to clear the path, and it's just kind of a hassle. Plus, I really like the effort and exercise that I get from carrying the water. I feel like it really makes me stronger, makes me more resilient to be able to do certain exercises on a daily basis, like lifting and moving these buckets of water on a regular basis. Some people are telling me to get a hose. I don't think I ever will get a hose. The reason being, it becomes a hassle, something you got to move around, something you got to avoid mowing over. And then as soon as we hit like October, it's pretty much useless until the end of May, early June. And so that sort of forces a difference for me. So I've got a special project plan for this morning. So that's why you see me taking the pitchfork, and that's why you see me with these bags. I'm going to keep it a secret for you guys right now. I wonder if you can figure it out. Leave it down in the comments if you have a good guess on what I'm actually doing there. But here I am just heading out to the geese. I usually, after doing the ducklings and getting all the water set and the ATV loaded up, I will drive out to the geese and try to take care of them first. Going by the ducks. And here we go. The geese, I am moving every week. They have 3 Premier One poultry nettings that I string together to make their paddock every week. They're using a lot of grass at this point. It's pretty incredible to see. They munch it down. And I mean, you can see here, this is probably, I think, day 5 of this paddock, and it's so eaten down already. It's pretty impressive. Here I am getting the water set. I usually use 6 buckets of water for their daytime water, and then another 3 buckets of water for their nighttime water. And so I just usually in the morning will set it all out there. I also give them plenty of sand. The sand is essentially grit for them, and it helps them grind down the food. And so they actually go through a fair amount of that tube sand that you see there. But yeah, I like these black waters versus like a kiddie pool because they're more durable. They don't break like the kiddie pools will break in cold temperatures like immediately. These things are much more rugged and durable, but they are also more expensive. Now this right here is my favorite part of the day, other than letting the ducklings out. It's letting these guys out. I love watching this spectacle. I love watching them troop out there. The sound is a little bit deafening, but that's quite all right. I just find letting these guys out here on a regular basis is just so entertaining and enjoyable. I love when they get out and they're flapping their wings along and going crazy. I'm actually even starting to notice that as they're flapping their wings, they're starting to try to jump around a bit. I bet it won't be long before I have some goslings that are, I shouldn't say goslings,
hey,
I should say geese. I bet it won't be all that long before I have some geese that are hopping and flying. See that guy? He's just trying to do it right there. There's another one. Hopefully they don't get to the point where they're hopping the fence. Even then, I'm not too worried. They are so terrifying to predators, I feel like at this point. They are big. They are very calm and docile with me, even though they don't like to be touched. You can see it right there. That one was getting really shy with me, but generally speaking, they will surround me, they will crowd me, they will come around on their own terms, but they don't like me touching them. All right, now it's the time of the video that everybody's been waiting for. It's your favorite part. It's everybody says this. Here we go.
Release the Quakers!
Now, I think you guys are noticing that there's fewer and fewer ducks coming out on a regular basis. That's because I've got so many ducks right now that are broody and they're hanging out inside the duck house. I am still waiting for them to hatch. Samuel Puddle Duck remains like the constant guardian inside there. He barely leaves the duck house at this point. But I think I have 3 ducks that are very regularly sitting on eggs, clutches of eggs. And I think I have Jemima Puddle Duck, the other female pekin that we have. She just kind of hangs out a lot in there, but I don't know if she's really ready. So now let's start doing our special project. And to remove that mystery, here's what the special project is this morning. I'm going to be pulling out all the deep litter bedding that I have in the duck house, and I'm going to be spreading it around here in all of the dirt that surrounds the pond. So when Alfred dug the pond, you know, it ripped up all the sod that we had. And so today I'm going to try to cover it up, and I'm going to cover it up with this old hay that's covered in piles of duck poop. I have not cleaned the bedding out of here in about 3 months or so, 2 months, I guess. And, you know, I keep piling on fresh hay every day or so, and so it's very, very fertile. It's got lots of duck poop in it, but it also has hayseed. So my thinking is by spreading the used hay all over that dirt, I'll be able to sprout grasses, pasture grasses, right from it. On top of that, I will add some grass seed and clover seed into the mix as well, so I have just a good, healthy, diverse pasture mix. But man, I gotta tell you, pulling out this duck litter is just gross and hard work. I think you can actually hear me breathing here. I sound like Darth Vader, just I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. But definitely this morning while I was doing this, I worked up a real sweat. I know I'm probably working up a real sweat right now too, but that's just because it's been hot all day. The summer months are just not my friend at all. What can you do? I guess that's why I live in Vermont. But yeah, I spent probably about an hour out there emptying out the duck house, spreading the hay and litter all over the place, clearing out the whole duck house, and trying to surround as much of the ground around the pond as possible. My goal is to have grass growing by the time the snow starts falling. That will prevent erosion, that will get everything off to a good start the spring of next year, so that I should have a good healthy pasture that surrounds the pond. I'm also planning on adding some aquatic plants next spring too, once I have water around there. But for right now, I'm just mixing in this mix of, it's just like a lot of Vermont pasture grasses that I bought, and then I add clover seed to the mix as well. Clover is great for the geese, the ducks like the clover, the bees like the clover, everybody likes the clover. And it's great for pollinators too. By the way, if you're wondering, this spreader I'm using is just like the cheapest possible spreader you can get from any home improvement store. But I find it works great for doing this type of thing. It gets all the stuff spread out there much better than me just tossing it by hand. It costs barely anything. It's a cheap piece of crud, but it works really, really well. So if you guys are ever trying to reseed around your duck pond, don't get anything fancy. Just go with this little crank thing. You can, pretend like you're an organ grinder or something while you're doing the work. That's generally speaking what I'm doing, and as you see me here, grinding away and spreading all this seed. It's easy work. After going through the hard labor of emptying out the duck litter, it was kind of nice to get out there and just goof around and spread the grasses. My only hope, or I guess not hope, but my worry is that ultimately I'm going to have to deal with birds eating it, whether it's my own ducks, crows, or other things. So that's, I think, another advantage of having the spent hay down there. It gives more of the seed an opportunity to survive. I'm not deluding myself and thinking, though, that there's a good chance a lot of it's going to get eaten. My real hope, though, is I just need to keep getting some water and rain. So I think we're supposed to have some rain in the forecast tomorrow. That's pretty much all that it took to do the pasture. After I finish my chores, I usually like to just watch the geese and take a look at them. And oftentimes what you'll see me doing is my posting for social media. I do a lot of Instagram. I do a lot of YouTube, obviously, as you guys are watching right now. The social media must seem to a lot of you very superfluous and silly, but it's a core part of our business strategy for the farm. By getting our name out there and making content like this, I find that the content actually makes us have an easier sale. So as we're selling eggs, or as I'm gearing up to start selling the geese, I already have folks who are interested in this stuff. And so that is why I spend such a ridiculous amount of time doing social media. So here I am. It's finally time to wrap up and go inside. I actually this morning had to do some off-farm work, so I had to wrap up, get myself cleaned up, and get off the farm. But yeah, it was time to wrap everything up, collect all my equipment, put it all away. I've been on a real kick lately of trying to put things back where I found them. I'm usually pretty horrible at that type of thing, and so here you can see me actually trying to do that, and trying to be a little bit more tidy. That was one of my New Year's resolutions, and as you can see by the state of the barn down there, I've had sort of mixed results. And then my final favorite part of it every morning of chores, when the barn cats go out there and meet me like they're farm dogs waiting to get fed. And then I get to just enjoy the presence of the barn cats and get ready to say farewell to the farm before I go off to shower and leave. But, petting cats makes you feel good, so you do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this format of video. This is a little bit different than what I usually do. Leave comments down below telling me if this is horrible or you like it a lot, and I either will never do it again or do it a lot more. And I hope you guys have a great day. Be sure to check out some of our other videos, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching Goldshaw Farm, guys.